press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello students, how are you all? Hope all are fine and safe in your home. In today's class, we are going to learn the new lesson of your class 6 English, that is fair play. What is the name of your lesson? That is fair play. Okay, what do you mean by play? Yes, play is something story which is narrated between two or more characters with the help of narrator. So, the play is a story which is narrated between two or more characters. Okay, here this lesson telling that there is a fair play and it is represents a friendship bond between two friends. Okay, let's see. Open page number 84. First I will read this lesson, then I will explain it so that you can understand properly. When I am reading, please go through it. Before you read, has your best friend ever done something you thought was wrong? What did you do then? Did you keep quiet or did you tell your friend what you thought? Read the story about two friends who had to decide what was more important, friendship or enmity, or a sense of what is right and what is wrong. Fair Play, Part 1. Juman Sheikh and Algu Chaudhary were good friends. So strong was their bond of friendship that when either of them went away from the village, the other looked after his family. Both were greatly respected in the village. Juman had an old aunt who had some property. This she transferred to him on the understanding that she would stay with him and he would look after her. The arrangement worked well for a couple of years, then the situation changed. Juman and his family were tired of the old relative. Juman became as indifferent to her as his wife, who grudged even the little food that the old lady wanted every day. She swallowed these insults along with her food for a few months, but patience has its limits. One day she spoke to Juman, "My son, it is now obvious that I am not wanted in your house. Kindly give me a monthly allowance so that I can set up a separate kitchen. My wife knows best how to run the house. Be patient," said Juman shamelessly. This made her aunt very angry and she decided to take her case to the village panchayat. For many days, the old lady was seen talking to the villagers, explaining her case and seeking their support. Some sympathized with her, others laughed at her, and a few others advised her to make it up with her nephew and his wife. At last, she came to Algu Chaudhary and spoke to him. "You know, Chachi, Juman is my best friend. How can I go against him?" Algu said, "But is it right, my son, to keep mum and not say what you consider just and fair?" pleaded the old lady. "Come to the panchayat and speak the truth," she said. Algu didn't reply, but her words kept ringing in his ears. Okay, students, till this we are going to study in class. So, as I told earlier, this is a play and it has 3 parts. So, in the part first, they are telling the situation of this drama. So, here telling that Juman Sheikh and Algu Chaudhary were best friends. So, these two are very best friends in that particular village. So, you can imagine that Juman Sheikh is a Muslim and Algu Chaudhary is a Hindu. So, this friendship bond is very strong between them because they made a very good friendship with them. Okay, that friendship is described as the one is look after another because of his absence. Understood this? Juman Sheikh and Algu Chaudhary were good friends. The friendship is described between them is what? That is, the other When either of them went away from the village, the other looked after his family. Yes, this happens, right? During some works or during some emergency, we have to leave our village. We have to go that particular place where there is an emergency. In that case, we need a support or protection for our family, right? So that protection is given by his friend. Do you understand? If Juman Sheikh has emergency, so he has to leave the village. Then his family being protected by Algu Chaudhary. Like this, when Algu Chaudhary is absent, Juman Sheikh looks his family. Understood this? So like this, their friendship bond is very strong. Okay? Both were greatly respected in the village. Yes, of course. Because if two friends are very close and they are respecting each other, then all the villagers, all the one who are live in the village, are give respect to both of them. Because yes, they were very good friends. They can live without hesitation in one's absence. So we have to give respect. Like this, all the villagers give respect to these both Juman Sheikh and Algu Chaudhary because their friendship is very strong. Understood this? Understood the first para? Okay, second para. Juman had an old aunt who had some property. This she transferred to him on the understanding that she would stay with him and he would look after her. So here what happens? Juman had an old aunt. So that aunt having no sons and no guardians like husband, son like that. So she shifted her property to Juman. She gave agreement. Okay? She gave all his property agreement to Juman Sheikh. Instead of that, Juman Sheikh is take care of that old lady or old aunt. Understood that? That is an agreement between Juman Sheikh and old aunt. That is, old aunt give all her property to Juman Sheikh. So Juman Sheikh look after her. Okay? Understood this? Next, the arrangement worked well for a couple of years. Then the situation changed. Yes, this happens, right? The arrangement is worked for only couple of years. Only 2 years, this idea works. But after that, the situation is changed. Okay, let's see how the situation is changed. Juman and his family were tired of the old relative. Juman became as indifferent to her as his wife. Okay, so what happened? Juman had old aunt, and that old aunt having no guardian, so she gave all her property to Juman. Instead of Juman looked that lady after her. Okay, but this idea works for only couple of years. For only 2 years, this is worked. After that, they became strange because that situation is changed. How will the situation change? Yes, that is Juman and his relatives or his family members get tired of this old lady. So they can't carry her in the home. Understood this? Because Juman's wife is she is very selfish, and Juman also became indifferent means lost interest or stopped caring. So after a couple of years, he is not cared about that old lady, and also Juman's wife, so who grudged even the little food that the old lady wanted every day. So this is very cruel, right? Yes, this is called cruelty, because that old lady trusted Juman and she gave all her property to that Juman. But after the couple of years, they will start strange. The situation become changed. Like that, his Jumman's wife also very selfish, and she even grudged the food which is given to that old lady. Understood this? Firstly, that property belongs to old lady, but after that they are not taking care of that old lady. Jumman Sheikh's wife also become very greedy, very selfish. She just grabbed the food which is given to the old lady. Understood the situation? Okay. And she swallowed, who grudged even the little food that old lady wanted every day. She swallowed these insults along with her food for a few months, but patience has its limits. But that old lady, that old aunt, swallowed this all difficulties along with food. But what happened? Patience has its limits. She can tolerate few months. How can she tolerate full lifetime? No, she can't bear that, because that Jumman taken her property but not giving her respect. It is very cruelty, right? So she is impatient now. So let's see what happened. Okay, understood this second para? I will tell you again. ಕನ್ನಡದ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. ಜುಮ್ಮನ್ ಶೇಖ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಗು ಚೌಧರಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಇಬ್ರು ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಎಷ್ಟು ಸ್ನೇಹವನ್ನ ಹೊಂದಿದ್ರು, ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಸ್ನೇಹ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಒಬ್ರು ಏನಾದ್ರು ಊರಿಂದ ಆಚೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ರು, ಏನಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಎಮರ್ಜೆನ್ಸಿ ಇತ್ತು, ಏನೋ ಅರ್ಜೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಈ ತರ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಒಬ್ರು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಒಬ್ರು ಹೋಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆಬ್ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿನ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಅಲ್ಗು ಚೌಧರಿ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಎಮರ್ಜೆನ್ಸಿ ಇಂದ ಊರಿಂದ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಆ ಹಳ್ಳಿಯಿಂದ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಆ ಒಂದು ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿಗೆ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ, ಅದನ್ನ ಜುಮ್ಮನ್ ಶೇಖ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ. ಬಟ್ ಜುಮ್ಮನ್ ಶೇಖ್ ಅಬ್ಸೆನ್ಸಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಗು ಚೌಧರಿ ತನ್ನ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿನ ನೋಡ್ಕೋತಾ ಇದ್ದ. ಓಕೆ, ಇಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅವರಿಬ್ರದು ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಈ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ, ಈ ಗೆಳೆತನವನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ ಇಡೀ ಊರಿನವರೆಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಇದು ತುಂಬಾ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅಪ್ಪ, ಹಿಂಗೆ ಇರ್ರಿ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಅವರು ತುಂಬಾ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಜುಮ್ಮನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಅನ್ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಆಂಟ್, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜುಮ್ಮನ್ಗೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ತುಂಬಾ ವಯಸ್ಸಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಬ್ಬ ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಿಕರೊಬ್ರು, ಅವರು ಆಂಟಿ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಆಂಟಿ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ಆಂಟಿಗೆ ಗಾರ್ಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಯಾರು ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅವಳು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಳೆ, ತನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಆಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ಜುಮ್ಮನ್ಗೆ ಬರೆದು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಹೇಳ್ತಾಳೆ, ನೀನು ನನಗೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆನಾ? ಅವಳು ಅವನಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ಬರ್ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾಳೆ, ಅವನು ಅವಳನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಶಿ ಡಸಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎನಿ ಗಾರ್ಡಿಯನ್ಸ್, ಅವಳನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಯಾರು ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅವಳ ಆಸ್ತಿಗೆ ಒಡೆಯರು ಯಾರು ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಜುಮ್ಮನ್ಗೆ ಆಸ್ತಿನ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಆಂಟಿಗೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಕುಟುಂಬದವರು ಸಿಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಸಿಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಳೆ, ಅವಳು ತನ್ನ ಆಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಜುಮ್ಮನ್ಗೆ ಬರ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾಳೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು 2 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಕಾಲ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗೇ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂತಿದ್ರು ಆ ಆಂಟಿನ. ಆದ್ರೆ 2 ವರ್ಷ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿನಗಳು ಕಳೆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ ಚೇಂಜ್, ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಬದಲಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವ ತರ ಬದಲಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಜುಮ್ಮನ್ ಆಂಟಿಯನ್ನ ಕೇರ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಅವನು ಆಂಟಿಯನ್ನ ಕಾಳಜಿ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಜುಮ್ಮನ್ ಶೇಖ್ನ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಕೂಡ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕ್ರೂರವಾಗ್ತಾಳೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಆ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಆಂಟಿಗೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ವಯಸ್ಸಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆಂಟಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ದಂತಹ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದ ಆಹಾರವನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಅವಳು ಕಸ್ಕೊಂತ ಇರ್ತಾಳೆ. ಅಷ್ಟು ಕ್ರೂಯಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವಳು ಬಿಹೇವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಳೆ. ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲಾನು ನೋಡಿದ ಆಂಟಿಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಬೇಜಾರಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಏನಿದು, ನನ್ನ ಆಸ್ತಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ಕೊಟ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಇವರು ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ತಪ್ಪಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅವಳು ಅಷ್ಟು ತಪ್ಪು ನಡೆದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಅವಳು ಫ್ಯೂ ಮಂತ್ಸ್, ಕೆಲವು ತಿಂಗಳುಗಳ ಕಾಲ ಅವಳು ಅದನ್ನ ತಡ್ಕೊಂತಾಳೆ. ಊಟ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಕೊಟ್ರು, ಊಟನ ಕಿತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ದೇ ಇದ್ರು, ಆದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅವಳು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಳೆ, ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಟಾಲರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತಾಳೆ, ಸಹಿಸ್ಕೊಂತ ಹೋಗ್ತಾಳೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಪೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ಸ್, ತಾಳ್ಮೆಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಮಿತಿ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ತಾಳ್ಮೆ ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಹೇಗೆ ವರ್ತನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ವಾ? ಅದೇ ತರ ಈ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಆಂಟ್, ವಯಸ್ಸಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆಂಟಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ, ಮುದುಕಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ತುಂಬಾ ಬೇಜಾರಾಗಿ ತನ್ನ ತಾಳ್ಮೆಯನ್ನ ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾಳೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಸಿ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್. ಓಪನ್ ಪೇಜ್ ನಂಬರ್ 85. One day she spoke to Juman, "My son, it is now obvious that I am not wanted in your house. Kindly give me a monthly allowance so that I can set up a separate kitchen. My wife knows how best how to run the house. Be patient, okay?" said Juman shamelessly. This made his aunt very angry and she decided to take her case to the village panchayat. So that old lady, that old aunt, tolerate all its difficulties, and one day she spoke to Juman, "My son, I can't leave this in this house. It is obvious that I have to separate from this house. So please give me monthly allowance." Monthly allowance means some money. Give some money for my expenses monthly. You have to give monthly expenses to me because I don't want to live in your house. I can't live in your house. Okay? So you have to give me a monthly allowance so that I can make a separate kitchen. I can cook for myself and I can make a separate kitchen for myself. So you have to give me monthly allowance so that both of us become happy. Okay? Like this, that old aunt spoken to Juman. But Juman tells that my wife knows best how to run the house. Be patient. Juman become very selfish and he's telling that old aunt, sit, be patient. My wife knows how to run the house. You don't have to give advice for me and my wife. She knows how to run this house. So you have to keep quiet or be patient. Like this, Juman replied to that old aunt. Said Juman shamelessly. Yes, that is very shameless incident, right? Because that Juman has taken that old aunt property. But then also, he doesn't care about her. Even though she is asking for her monthly allowance. But he didn't give. Instead, he is telling that, okay, be patient. My wife knows how to run the house. You don't have to give advice for us. Okay, this is very cruel, right? Okay, this made his aunt very angry and she decided to take her case to the village panchayat. Yes, this makes that old lady very angry because she tolerated from few months, but now she can't tolerate. So she tells that, okay, I can take this case to the village panchayat. You know village panchayat? Yes, that is a justice court, like the court, okay, in the villages. Those are called as gram panchayat or village panchayat. Understood this? That old aunt take her case to that village panchayat. Okay, let's see what happened. For many days, the old lady was seen talking to the villagers, explaining her case and seeking their support. Some sympathized with her, others laughed at her, and a few others advised her to make it up with her nephew and his wife. Okay, now what happened? That lady, that old aunt, take her case to the village panchayat. For many days, the old lady was seen talking to the villagers, explaining herself. Yes, she is explaining her situation to the villagers because she take her case to village panchayat, so that she has to explain her situation to the one who give justice, right? So she is explaining her situation, but and she is seeking some support. Okay, because she is alone now, she has to become strong, so that she is seeking support, her case and seeking support. Some sympathized with her, so some villagers shows sympathy and others laughed at her. somebody are laughed at her because she only give all her property to that Juman, so she has to tolerate these difficulties. Like this, someone are laughed at her, but someone advises her to make it up with nephew and his wife. Make it up with means come to an end, come to an agreement, means settled. Understood this? That old aunt take this case to the village panchayat and asking their support to get justice. Okay, but what happened? Some of the villagers shows sympathy to her, and some of the villagers laughed at her, and some of the villagers advises her to get an agreement or come to an agreement with her nephew and his wife. Understood this? Okay. At last she came to Algu Chaudhary and spoke to him. You know, Chachi, Juman is my best friend. How can I go against him? Algu said. At last she tired of all the villagers, all the gram panchayati or village panchayat. So at last she came to Algu Chaudhary. Algu Chaudhary, who is Algu Chaudhary? He is the best friend of Juman Sheikh. So she comes to Algu Chaudhary and telling that, give me justice, please give me justice, like that. You know, Chachi, Juman is my best friend, how can I go against with him? So that Algu Chaudhary refused her because, you know, Chachi you know, Chachi means what? In Hindi we can say auntie as Chachi, right? So Chachi, you know, Juman and I were best friends. How can I go against? How can I go opposed him? How can I oppose him? This is not fair. Like this, Algu Chaudhary refused that old aunt. But is it right, my son, to keep mum and not say what you consider just and fair? Pleaded the old lady. So pleaded means requested here, and mum means silent. Okay, but the old lady is telling that, yes son, you are the best friend of Algu, but you have to know which is right and which is wrong. So you have to give the justice for the right one, right? So think about that. There is a friendship and there is a justice. Which can you choose? Like this, that old lady spoken to that Algu Chaudhary. Come to the panchayat and speak the truth, she said. Algu didn't reply, but her words kept ringing in his ears. So that old lady requested to Algu that, please come to panchayat. You know my situation. Please come to panchayat and tell my situation so that I will get justice. But Algu didn't reply because he is in a confused state. Okay, what can I choose? Friendship or justice? What can I do? So he didn't reply to that old lady. But her words, her words are kept ringing in Algu's ears. Understood this? Okay, ನಾನು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿನ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿನ ಆಗೋವರೆಗೂ ಜುಮ್ಮನ್ ಶೇಖ್ ಮತ್ತು ಅವನ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸು ಆ ಒಂದು ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಆಂಟಿನ ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೋತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಆದರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿನ ಕಳೆದ ಹಾಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಒಂದು ತಿನ್ನೋ ಆಹಾರವನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಅವರು ಕಿತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕಳ್ಸೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದ್ರ ತಾಳ್ಮೆಗೂ ಒಂದು ಮಿತಿ ಇದೆ. ಅವಳು ಕೂಡ ಆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಆಂಟಿ, ವಯಸ್ಸಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮಹಿಳೆ ಕೂಡ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಷ್ಟಗಳನ್ನು ಸಹಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಆದರೆ ಒಂದು ದಿನ ಅವಳು ಜುಮ್ಮನ್ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾಳೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಮಗನೇ, ನನಗೆ ಇನ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಿನ್ನ ಮನೇಲಿ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ನೀನು ನನಗೆ ಮಂತ್ಲಿ ಅಲೋವೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ತಿಂಗಳು ನೀನು ನನಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನು ಕೊಡು, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನನ್ನ ಖರ್ಚನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಷ್ಟು ನನಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನು ಕೊಡು, ಅದರಿಂದ ನಾನು ಸೆಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಕಿಚನ್, ನನಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಅಡುಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಕಿಚನನ್ನು ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತೀನಿ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ನಾನು ತೊಂದರೆ ಕೊಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಸೆಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಕಿಚನನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತೀನಿ, ಸೊ ನೀನು ನನಗೆ ಮಂತ್ಲಿ ಅಲೋವೆನ್ಸನ್ನು ಕೊಡು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾಳೆ, ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಾಳೆ. ಆದರೆ ಜುಮ್ಮನೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ನನ್ನ ಹೆಂಡತಿಗೆ ಮನೆಯನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ನಡೆಸಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ನೀನು ಅದನ್ನ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ನೀನು ತಾಳ್ಮೆಯಿಂದ ಕುತ್ಕೋ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅವನು ಸಿಟ್ಟಿಂದ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಇದನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿದ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಲೇಡಿಗೆ, ಆ ಒಬ್ಬ ವಯಸ್ಸಾದ ಮಹಿಳೆಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಸಿಟ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನೀನು ಈ ತರ ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಬಿಹೇವ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ? ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿನ ನೀನು ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೀಯಾ, ನಾನು ನಿನಗೆ ಆಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನೀನು ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ನಿನ್ನ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯ. ಆದ್ರೆ ನೀನು ಇವಾಗ ನನಗೆ ಕೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಮಂತ್ಲಿ ಅಲೋಯನ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಲೇಡಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಯಸ್ಸಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮಹಿಳೆ ತನ್ನ ಕೇಸನ್ನ ವಿಲೇಜ್ ಪಂಚಾಯತ್ಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾಳೆ. ವಿಲೇಜ್ ಪಂಚಾಯತ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗ್ರಾಮ ಪಂಚಾಯತಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳು ಬಂತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಕೋರ್ಟಿಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವೋ ಅದೇ ತರ ಹಳ್ಳಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರಾಮ ಪಂಚಾಯತಿ ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇವಳು ತನ್ನ ಕೇಸನ್ನ, ತನ್ನ ವಾದವನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾಳೆ ಆ ಗ್ರಾಮ ಪಂಚಾಯತಿಗೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ದಿನಾಲೂ ಅಲ್ದಾಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ, ಒಂದು ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ ನ್ಯಾಯ ಸಿಕ್ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ, ದಿನಾಲೂ ಅಲ್ದಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾಳೆ. ಆಗ ಹೇಳ್ತಾಳೆ, ದಿನಾಲೂ ಅಲ್ದಾಡಿ ಸುಸ್ತಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜನ ಇವಳನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ ನಗೋಕ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜನ ಇವಳನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ ಕರುಣೆಯನ್ನ ತೋರ್ಸಕ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜನ ಇವಳನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಕೊಡೋಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಏನಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಈ ತರ ಗ್ರಾಮ ಪಂಚಾಯತಿಗೆ ಅಲ್ದಾಡೋದನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಿನ್ನ ನೆಫ್ಯೂ, ನಿನ್ನ ಅಳಿಯ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಗಳ ಅಳಿಯನ ಹೆಂಡತಿಯ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನೀ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡು, ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟಿಗೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡು, ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನೀನು ಒಪ್ಪಂದ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋ. ಮುಂಚೆನೆ ಒಪ್ಪಂದ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದು, ಅದು ಈಗ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಇವಾಗ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಮುಂದುವರಿಸ್ಬೇಡ, ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಬೇಡ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಯಾರು ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಆ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಲೇಡಿ ಅಲ್ಗು ಚೌಧರಿ ಹತ್ರ ಬರ್ತಾಳೆ. ಅಲ್ಗು ಚೌಧರಿ ಯಾರು ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ವಾ? ಅಲ್ಗು ಚೌಧರಿ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಜುಮನ್ ಶೇಖ್. ಅವಳು ಅಲ್ಗು ಚೌಧರಿ ಹತ್ರ ಬಂದು, ಮಗನೇ, ಈ ತರ ನಿನ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಜುಮನ್ ಶೇಖ್ ನನ್ಗೆ ಈ ತರ ಮೋಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ನೀನು ನನಗೆ ನ್ಯಾಯ ಕೊಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಗು ಚೌಧರಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ಚಾಚಿ, ಆಂಟಿ, ನೀವು ಹೇಗೆ ಅನ್ಕೋತೀರ, ನಾನು ಹೇಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನ ಗೆಳೆಯನ ವಿರುದ್ಧ? ಇಷ್ಟು ದಿನಗಂಟೆ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಗೆಳೆತನವನ್ನು ನಿಭಾಯಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಗೆಳೆಯನ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾಳೆ ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ಗು ಚೌಧರಿ ಆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಆಂಟಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಆಗ ಆ ವಯಸ್ಸಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮಹಿಳೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾಳೆ, ಹೌದು ಮಗನೇ, ನೀವಿಬ್ರು ತುಂಬಾ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರು, ಆದ್ರೆ ನಿನಗೂ ಸತ್ಯ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತು, ಆ ಸತ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ನ್ಯಾಯ ಕೊಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಿನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನೀನು ಪಂಚಾಯಿತಿಗೆ ಬಂದು ನ್ಯಾಯವನ್ನ ಕೊಡಿಸು, ಸತ್ಯವನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿ ನ್ಯಾಯವನ್ನ ಕೊಡಿಸು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅವಳು ಹೇಳಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾಳೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಗು ಚೌಧರಿ ಒಂದು ಮಾತನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಮಾತಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವನು ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಅವನು ತುಂಬಾ ಗೊಂದಲದಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ನನ್ನ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ಲಾ ಅಥವಾ ಈ ನ್ಯಾಯದ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ಲಾ? ಈಗ ನನ್ನ ಫ್ರೆಂಡನ್ನ ವಹಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಅಧರ್ಮದ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವನು ಇವಳಿಗೆ ಮೋಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು, ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನು ಸಹಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಈಗ ಈ ಅಜ್ಜಿಗೆ ನಾನು ನ್ಯಾಯ ಕೊಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಳ್ಕೊತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಎರಡರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದನ್ನ ಚೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಗು ಚೌಧರಿ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಸಿ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್. ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಹಿ ಈಸ್ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್. ಆದ್ರೆ ಆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಮಹಿಳೆ, ವಯಸ್ಸಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮಹಿಳೆ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳೋಗಿರ್ತಾಳಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಒಂದು ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಪದಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಅಲ್ಗು ಚೌಧರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಿವಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಗುನ್ಗುಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪದೇ ಪದೇ ಅದೇ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, ಅವನಿಗೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನೆನಪು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಸಿ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ಇನ್ ದ part 2. Okay, we will continue in the part 2 in the next class. Okay, hope you understood this class. Please read it twice in a day so that you can understand properly, and use the difficult words in your day-to-day life. Okay, thank you.